Welcome to the One Life podcast with Behka White. This is episode 63, Self-Awareness. Today, we are finishing up our exploration of happiness using the 4 human endowments articulated by Stephen Covey. We have discussed creative imagination, independent will, and conscience. Today's final topic is self-awareness, which is the ability to step back, observe ourselves, and understand our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Think of self-awareness as a mirror that reflects our inner world. It allows us to see our strengths, weaknesses, values, and motivations. Without this mirror, we're stumbling in the dark, reacting to life rather than intentionally shaping it. Quick illustration. School cafeteria. It was French fry day with fry sauce, my favorite. I was sitting across from 2 cool girls that I don't usually sit with, and one of the girls began to have a look of disgust on her face and kept nudging the other girl, who smiled sweetly at me. This continued until I finished my French fries and left. I kept seeing the girl's look of disgust in my mind and finally wanted to understand what happened. So I had this conversation with myself. What was I doing when she was looking disgusted? And I was eating my French fries with sauce. What did that look like to her? Here, I pulled out the mirror of self-awareness to see myself. The fries were hot. I was in a hurry. I was dipping and shoving fries in my mouth, chewing with my mouth open and talking while eating. No napkins, licking my fingers. I could see it all in my mind, and wow, it was disgusting. Seeing myself clearly motivated me to never eat like that again. This was a huge step forward in my table etiquette, so I thank the cool girls. I wish I could say that this happened in elementary, but no, unfortunately, I'm embarrassed to report that it happened in high school. The good news is that we do not need to travel through life oblivious to our weaknesses and biases. Self-awareness is a skill which can be learned and cultivated. It comes from deep personal honesty. It comes from asking and answering hard questions. The questions we ask are determined by what we want to learn about ourselves. Processing our experiences is a good place to start. And we can use a helpful reflection tool by asking these 3 questions. What went well and why? What didn't go well and why? And next time I will blank. Beyond processing our experiences, there are many questions we can choose to ask ourselves. The most rigorous path of self-awareness is found in AA's step number 4, which is make a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. This step is designed to help one understand who they are and how they arrived at their current state. As I've stated previously, I attended my first AA meeting when I was 17 with my Uncle Daryl. What I didn't say is that we have dealt with addiction in our home, and I have been through the 12 steps multiple times and served as a group leader and facilitator for years. Making a searching and fearless moral inventory of myself is hands down the most excruciating and liberating experience of my choosing. Gratefully, I had a very wise sponsor who guided me through the process with a lot of grace. As a preparation for the work, she had me begin by making an extensive list of my positive personal attributes and strengths, followed by questions about how those traits have served me in my life, how I can use them to serve others, etc. Then the real work began of answering questions in 5 separate inventories, which included mistakes, shame, and blame, recognizing our weaknesses, codependency and personal relationships, identifying negative emotions and attitudes, and remembering God's help in our lives. This process took weeks. Following these inventories, I wrote my biographical sketch. Phew. You know that scene in The Matrix where Neo reaches awareness about his reality? Morpheus tries to explain things to Neo, and he says, "The truth is that you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch, a prison for your mind." End quote. Going through the experience of step 4 felt like unlocking the prison for my mind. Understanding who I am and how I got to my state helped me to see where I wanted to go and how to begin. Sometimes we don't want to engage in asking ourselves deeply searching questions because we are afraid of what we might find. Today's invitation is to ask anyway, because at your core, underneath all of your life experiences and your circumstances and even your choices, you are divine and beloved. You do not need to hide from yourself. Honesty is the beginning of all change. I want to thank you for joining me on this episode of the One Life podcast, and I hope you found these insights on self-awareness valuable. If so, please like and subscribe and share. Remember, you have the power to shape your life. Until next time, keep living your best life.